Welcome to the DeFi Show, where we dive into the wild, exciting world of crypto with passion and a mission to make it accessible for everyone. Today, we're thrilled to have William, aka Classy Zoj, back to unpack Mad Labs, his game-changing XRP Ledger wallet and AMM that's empowering crypto trailblazers.
Ooh, secure trading to cross-chain swaps. We're going to explore why Mad Labs is a must-learn tool for taking control of your financial future. Get ready for an epic 2 hours, or 3 if you're going to come to the After Dark, of insight, a live demo, and answers to your burning questions. Let's dip that toe into DeFi and make waves together.
Let's go. Welcome to Dipato. How you doing, Simon?
I'm doing very, very well this happy hump day. How's it going for you?
That's going great. It's still hot as hell here in the mitten.
In the Michigan. Yeah, you know what? You're gonna be complaining about the snow in like 2 months anyways. So like, I mean, just take the sticky.
Yeah, I know. I really need to do is just get a house with air conditioning. That's what I need to do.
Yeah, but you know what? I just had a conversation about that. Let's talk about that real quick, okay? Like, now you and I both have friends all across the nation and of course the globe, right? And most of them live below probably the 35th longitude line, right? So for those of us that live above that line, it is not standard to have air conditioning, central air with some cooling features on it. It is a luxury. Like if you actually have that a part of your whole home,
yeah,
you're bougie. Right? You're bougie a little bit. That's okay. That's okay. So yeah, I get it. I
want to be bougie wherever I live.
Hey man, sister, let's go. Let's rock that dream. Let's rock that dream.
I mean, we're gonna not bougie yet.
No, I'm not at the bougie's relative. Like you know, my awesome angel that I get to be a part of her life, right? So the ice machine on the fridge, that's fancy to her. That's bougie, right?
Yep.
You know, I grew up. Now I didn't have that in my home, but almost 1 out of every 2 friends had that in their home. So for me, it was like, it's kind of standard. You know, maybe not. I don't know, whatever. But yeah, let's. You know, here's to being bougie. Whenever the hell we get there.
Hey, aye. I want to welcome. We've got 29 folks in here so far. Florida Man Landscaping FML was the very first. Let's go.
What? Huh? Record breaker. I swear I saw Silver Days up in there, man. I swear I did. I swear, but maybe not. I don't care.
Maybe
whatever.
Not. Usually Silver
Days. I'm not here to make those kind of waves.
No ways. And then we have Toasty Toastman Tech, Zoj to rule all the chains, baby. Yeah, that's right. And Kita, we love you, Kita. Thank you for coming to the Dip a Toe Show. We miss you. Awesome. Amy's in the house. So we have a show for you this evening. The
Absolutely.
conversation that we're going to have here coming up is going to be real important to those of you who are already dipping your toes into the crypto space, and in particular XRP and the XRP Ledger. So we're gonna talk to someone, William Classy Zoge, who's created this Mad Lab for you guys, for us. And it's not, as we say, crypto ain't for sissies. So this is going to be a very important conversation that you don't want to miss. Please share this out with your family and friends. There's 40 of you here. If you aren't following us, subscribe to us on YouTube. Please help get our channel to that 1,000 subscribers. Go over there and you can join the live stream and put your questions within the chat. Please put them in all caps so that we can find them easily. Crypto Glamour, what's up? She's in the house.
I know. I saw that. She's in the house. Good to see her. Oh, hey, I want to talk to one of our homies out there. I didn't get a chance last show to talk to them, but they left a comment in the comment section, which, I mean, it's banter back and forth, and it ain't nothing but love. Stone, only real men can do things like this. That's what this is. It ain't no me falling asleep at the wheel and then painting some cool designs on my face.
Huh?
I just want to say that. Now, I saw that in the comment last week. I started laughing. I'm like, oh, don't do it. That was great. So Stone, I love you, brother. Keep the trash talk coming, baby. I love it, man. It's good. It's good things.
I'm a fan of the facial hair. I must say, I am a fan of the facial hair.
We did actually put it to a vote in Vegas, but go ahead.
I know, and I love it. Uncle Ron's Fungus Farms listening on the way home from the farmer's market again. Welcome. Thank you for supporting the Dip and Toe Show, Uncle Ron. We love you. And for those of you who don't know, Uncle Ron is on X, and he has a group called the XRP Ledger Spaces group, which we are a part of. And our Dip a Toe After Dark, we host those out of that XRP Ledger Spaces group so that we can get more eyes on it. And I encourage all of you that have shows, spaces, to do the same, so that we can continue to build our community. And we thank him for thinking of that idea. Darren Baxter's in the house, says, Zoge, Classy Zoge. You got a fan there. Kristen says, hello, Dip-a-Toe fam.
Happy birthday, by the way.
Happy birthday.
Happy belated birthday, technically, but happy birthday nonetheless.
And our buddy, IMUTV, I Am Protectors, Niall Cottrell's in the house.
Oi.
Don't forget to tune into Dip a Toe Show on imutv.tv. One of these days, I have them back on because we're in I think 25 countries or something now. Like they continue to build.
Oh, okay, cool. We crossed that deuce threshold. Awesome. That's
congratulations. Pretty darn cool.
That's very awesome.
Cool. We got Mr. Zam and Optimistic Prime in the house. Mr. Marvin Davis. Let's see. Oh, Opti says 139 subscribers left to go. Let's go, guys. Get us up there, please, and thank you. And our beautiful Rosemary's in the house.
Hi, Rosemary.
Man, guys, this is going to be a great show. I do want to say, and there's your Stone. There's your Stone, man.
I know. I saw him. I know.
Coffee and Crypto. Let's go. Stone, Coffee and Crypto, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can go in and chat with all the people that are building on the XRP Ledger. He's got a great space. If you're not following Stone, make sure that you are. It's a great show. And we kind of feed off each other, too. And we got Miss Becky in the house. Becky Beck. 26 now. Did I just see that? Did you just?
Yeah. Niall says 26. Man. Thailand just added this week. All right, dude. We are across the West Coast pond.
Tio Trini is in the house too, and Jess 1313, I think. Guys, and Brewster. All right, guys, We love you. There's 66. I think we've done enough chitty chatting.
That's right.
Guys,
we kissed all
guys,
the Dippy-Toe babies.
We did. We got a special treat for you tonight. We're super excited to welcome William, aka Classy Zoj, back to the Dippy-Toe Show. Zoj is the visionary creator behind Mad Labs. It's a groundbreaking XRP Ledger wallet and AMM that's shaking up the DeFi world. With a passion for empowering crypto trailblazers, William has poured his expertise and his heart into building a secure, user-friendly tool for trading and liquidity management. From its bold inception to its game-changing THORChain integration, Mad Labs is redefining what's possible in crypto. So let's get ready to dive into his journey and why Mad Labs is a must for every XRP holder and DeFi enthusiast. So without further ado, let's bring Zoj in. What's up? How you doing, my friend?
Hi, guys. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Loud and clear.
Okay, fantastic. Hi.
We are super excited and honored that you came back on the Dippy-Toe Show. I must say, I've been listening to you on the trench warfare spaces that you guys hold in the evenings. Usually it's really late for me, so I'm always listening them on the playback. But you've just been spitting fire on there, and you make so much sense when you're talking about the wallets and the infrastructure that's being built already that we're all using when it comes to, particularly XRP and the XRP Ledger, how we're our little window into the XRP Ledger. And so I've been dying to have you back on, and I know that everybody, our viewers love you, and they've been chomping at the bit. So hopefully you guys put your questions in all caps, and we'll do our best to get it to as many of them as possible. Hopefully you guys did your homework and you've already went to the Mad Labs website, and so you're kind of familiar with it. But William, Zoj, can you share a quick overview of your background in the crypto space and what inspired you to create Mad Labs?
Yeah, okay. So briefly, we'll do a background on why I'm dressed like this. It's hot, and I work today. So, that, and it looks like I've got company. So.
Oh,
nice.
Oh, yeah. That's fur baby. Yeah. I got one sleeping on the couch, like right.
She's blind. She's fully blind. So without me, she doesn't survive. And yeah, she's very needy. But on the wallet and why? Well, let's be honest. I mean, every meme coin trying to not be a shit coin is trying to build something of value for other people to get attention. So fundamentally, it's out of, I refuse to suck. Right?
Yeah.
And that really is a good thing as far as inspiring people to do more or do better, just sucking and not wanting to.
Love it.
That's simple. A concise, short little baby answer.
I mean, that's simple, baby. I like it. I like that. That's awesome.
How long have you been working on Mad Labs, and what was the spark for you to actually build it as elaborate as you have? It's you've touched on a lot of things when it comes to your wallet creation. How long have you been working on that thing?
So, it's a work in progress from Monocle on. So if you know about Zoj Monocle, which goes back years, one of the first free scanning tool for projects, airdrop tool, things like that, Monocle was built upon XRPL adventures. And, years later, going back and looking at Monocle and saying, okay, so what can we do better? And then also, I don't know if you can pull up the site, the World Exchange the one that I had linked you.
Yeah.
So we'll do a brief history lesson on kind of understanding stuff few people know about. But the World Exchange is a website that attempted to bring people to the XRP Ledger early, very early, and nobody basically ever found it or heard about it. It's very niche, right? And it doesn't actually function as far as I know. It's broken, and it's due to it not being updated and things like that. There's parts of it that work and other parts that straight don't work. If you'll notice, one of the takeaways there is Ripple network, right? You see that text and Ripple account in the top right. This is legacy stuff that I'm bringing you guys. So it's super cool for those who haven't. I'd say probably, even of the experienced people in the ecosystem, few have hit this website before or heard of it. But what's interesting about this website is it doesn't have a back end.
What does that mean for what does that mean for the Dipatoers and Melissa?
Right. So what that means is that if you dive into the code of it, which I happen to have a little bit of skill getting into people's websites, you'll find that it connects to WSSs to pull its data feeds. So with that knowledge, it lets you know between Monocle and this website, looking at it, it dawned on me that I could basically do anything with a WSS connection and no back end running on the computer itself, which meant that the sky was the limit. The only thing that I really had to be careful about was security, encryption, and getting something built, and then getting other people initially to try it and giving them the warning saying, I don't know if this will work for you, but I'm trying to make it work, and this is something nobody's done before. So yeah, that's pretty much how that came to be.
Well, and I put the link
and learning over time, that combination.
This is something that really piqued my interest when it came to the XRP Ledger. When I really started learning more things about it, and when you bring up things like this, where like I don't know who built this, the World Exchange, but somebody did, and the creation of the XRP Ledger to begin with allowed something like this to be built and something like Mad Labs to be built, which, there are so many people that say, XRP and Ripple, they're the banker's coin, and they're the bad guys and all of that sort of thing. And when you look at this kind of stuff and you realize, it has been open for people to build something and tap into the ledger directly. That's pretty awesome. And so how old is this World Exchange site?
I don't know. Maybe if you scroll to the bottom, catching a footer with a copyright, it might show a range, and the beginning of that range is usually 6 months to a year. If you go before that is probably when they started working on it or something to that effect. So somewhere in that ballpark, if they have one, even I haven't looked.
Yeah, I didn't see anything on here.
No, I'm not seeing anything either.
It's ancient alien technology to me. And the reason I know that it is they call it Ripple Network. And that's so wild.
That's old.
Yeah. Fair play.
That's really funny. Old. That's really old. So a lot of the focus of this show tonight is getting people to understand why it's worth their time to invest into learning about Mad Labs and this, being able to tap in and use the XRP Ledger, I think, as it was intended to use the public good. I think of it as a public good. what makes Mad Labs worth the time for somebody juggling a busy life, but does want to get into this and maybe custody their own XRP or get involved in the DeFi aspect of where we're heading? If you were going to try to sell somebody on it, what would you say? What would be the reason?
Yeah, so I mean, honestly, I got a video up there that I think does a really good breakdown of how to use MADLab and set it up. And that video will take you an hour. And I think that anything that we're serious about, I mean, people in here, if they're kind of wondering, if you spent the 2 hours in here, I mean, that's half the time and you would know how to use it if you watched that video. So fundamentally, I mean, we throw around an hour at stuff all the time. If we're serious about crypto, I mean, we'll put 40 hours into every week at work. We'll watch a show for an hour, no problem. So, yeah, it's one of those things where and the reason that, so that's part of the question, right? You know, what they should do. But the other reason is, as far as infrastructure and things like that, you don't actually get to experience decentralized networks very often. And what I mean by that is, even if you take the Signal app is a good example. A lot of people use that for encrypted peer-to-peer messaging, and they believe in that security model. But the truth of it is, your phone number is taken by Trillo and used, and they know every message, not the contents of it, but every message to every number. So they can say, this phone number, who we know who it is, talks to this phone number. And just by, have you ever heard of guilt by association?
Yep.
The people who kind of use stuff like that, when you have a bunch of people who you talk to who are important, and then one of them gets in trouble or does something crazy, that kind of stuff. But aside from that, I mean, if you think about it, not even that is peer-to-peer. It still runs through their servers, to where if their servers go down, your app won't work. And what I mean by all of this is that decentralized technology is actually very rare, very few, and very far between. So it's more of a one-off novelty kind of a thing to see, you know, something come around that is immutable, is decentralized, and can easily be verifiably proven to be so.
Clint B says, great time to learn about connecting directly to the ledger without the need for a mobile app, especially as we see Google putting restrictions on a subset of crypto wallets. Oh, I didn't realize Google was putting restrictions on a subset of wallets.
You know, I didn't either, but it's, at this point, it's fairly irrelevant, because what I caught on to was the thread that basically every single company, product, app, website that you go to wants to give you a cookie, wants to inject you with Google Analytics. And if you look at that Google Analytics script written in 2012 by Google, and I know that it's written in 2012 originally because I opened it up, it's massive. It's a freaking library of JavaScript, and it's all designed to literally suck as much data possible about you out of your device that you're talking to that website. And if you, I mean, you don't think about it, but you go to Dex Screener and you get a chart, there's that Google Analytics phishing inside of there. You load your Zaman wallet, it's phishing in there, building a dossier for you that, you know, anyone can get their hands on later, quite literally, especially when, you know, Google gets data breaches, and these mainframes they're notorious for leaks. So, I mean, who's giving these people the freedom to operate like this? The government. And to be honest, to their benefit. Now, this may stop as far as like what Google's allowed to do as people start to get pissed off about it, or just start to switch to decentralized stuff. But that doesn't stop Palantir or what's going on that front. That's going to ramp up. But the government doesn't really like competition. And since the CIA funded, started, and built the technology for Palantir, and then privatized it, made it its own company, and then of course hired it to do the spying on Americans, that company won't be regulated like any other company. It's going to be given the green light because it will quite literally bypass every bit of your Fourth Amendment rights and that kind of stuff. So that's going to continue on. Now, the government, like I said, doesn't like competition. So there's a good hint there that maybe to give the people some of what they want, they'll tell Microsoft, Google, Facebook, Yahoo, whoever else, even probably ask.com or Yelp, to stop spying on you some. But at the end of the day, I mean, the amount of data being stolen is crazy. But for me, fundamentally, what this comes down to is us saying, okay, you're going to be looking through our windows and going through our clothing drawers and our trash cans and all of this stuff to try to find anything you possibly can. But here's where I draw the line. Stay out of my crypto wallet. That's like getting inside my bank account. Like, you don't have, any rights to be getting in there. So I don't like the Google tracking inside of any any marketing websites, as far as like you're watching the tickers. And obviously I don't want to see it in any wallets, but I mean, we have it in wallets already in the XRPL. So it's one of those things.
It's a very challenging thing when I think about all of this. I'm one that's always watched the crime shows, right? How they catch the bad guy and watch it. Everybody's got a camera and they can follow and they're tracking and this and that. Like, this has been set up for this for a really long time. They got people to willingly give up their DNA through all of the ancestry type services that they provided. And all they have to do is say, whoopsies, we got the data breach or whatever. It could have been on accident, could have been on purpose. Who knows? It's irrelevant. It's out there now. All of that data has been put into the police work and the databases and all of that. And they've been able to catch bad guys through DNA and that sort of thing. And so we're kind of silly to think that hasn't been going on for a really, really long time. And we've actually given it up willingly without knowing. And now we're kind of like in the past few years, where you could see these user agreements and stuff. They kind of upped their game as far as letting people know this is what we're collecting on you, and making sure that you can uncheck and check and all of that sort of stuff as far as what they can collect on you. That's
pause right there real quick, because Kristen Dack just said, and it's such a sad thing. Just like you had mentioned, literally as she's putting that in there, that they've upped their game on letting us know that they're doing this.
Yeah.
It's already been done to multiple families and children, having their audio and video stolen by school districts. Now she's getting noticed that they're allowed to do that to her child's computer from the school. And that, just like what you said, they're now starting to give people notice so that people can't sue them and be like, hey, this is wrong, rather than just removing the shit because it's super creepy and you're basically some kind of, I don't want to go too far on a tangent and get pissed off, because
Sure.
I will. But obviously it's out of control. It's over the limit, and we've got to make better choices and not let these people do this to us.
Yeah. Well, because we felt like we're winning, right? When they started actually telling people, because the average person is like, I don't care. I'm not doing anything wrong, that sort of thing. And we're like, now we know that they've been doing this. And so some people are like, no, we're not going to. But the average person still says, okay, because if you want to use whatever tool that you're using, you have to click yes, basically, or it's a no-go, right?
Yeah, that, and no, nobody should. I mean, privacy is a right. It's not a privilege. It's a fundamental right. It is that for a reason, and it's not because you're a bunch of bad people running around being bad all the time. No, it's
Right.
because there are some bad people out there looking for chinks in the armor and all of these different ways that they can get one up on somebody to literally do a crime, be it, getting their address, getting into their wallet, whatever the case may be. And that's why people are intended to be private and government intended to be public. The direct inversion of that from probably started in the 90s a bit. I mean, obviously, this goes back to the creation of the Fed in 1913, and even before that a bit, with the 16th Amendment and stuff like that. But if we really just go for the nuts and bolts of it, 2001 NDAA Patriot Act, further expanding upon it this year with Trump, and you've got just a complete out of control, not fundamental law overreach from the government, and it's bled down into municipalities, and it's like mandating that you have to have government services to your house, being water or power, in basically every state, and if you turn it off, they can condemn your property and steal it from you. I mean, the list goes on and on. And this is why I'm like, guys, we need to just straight up protect one another and ourselves. They are attacking us fundamentally. Like when they say you can't collect rainwater and stuff like that, you're lucky we're not drawing blood, in my opinion. Like, we're trying to do this peaceably, but by damn it, the tiptoe it's serious.
Team Green says they watching us on Dipito Show right now. They probably are.
Well,
they probably are.
If they are watching, I just want to say we're going to continue to defend ourselves, and hopefully we win so that your children are free and that we don't have a lot of bloodshed. But every time in history that the control system does get to the point of a win, there's a genocide and then it loses. So I say let's just tiptoe to the right direction before we go down that path again.
Mike Concho gave us $10. Thank you, Mike. Says once your data has been sold to a third party, you legally no longer have an expectation of privacy. These are the things. So, this is the interesting thing about crypto, the digital asset space in general. People that start dipping their toes into it, we ask a lot of questions, right? We do a lot of research. There's folks like you that have done your research on this particular topic. There's others that have done it in government, whatever it may be. But the fact of the matter is, we're good people. We're not trying to do anything. We're just trying to, educate ourselves and what our rights really are and what are the best ways to protect ourselves from a data breach, someone else controlling all of our information. You're never going to get away from it entirely, I don't think. And by no means, this is like, we never encourage. It's not like we're talking about this because, we want to facilitate something bad, somebody doing something bad. But the fact of the matter is that you're supposed to be innocent until proven guilty of doing something terrible. And having privacy when it comes to your money and your transactions should be a no-brainer. However, like I said, it is a challenging thing that lawmakers face, because there are people that do pretty nasty things, and a lot of these tools that are in place do lead to those bad guys getting caught, right? And so, it's a fine line between abusing power and using it to discover something that's happened that's terribly wrong.
Yeah, I mean, I think Americans, we would be a lot more inclined to believe that things are on the up and up and for our benefit and good if we saw the fruits of those efforts. But from the war on terror, the war on drugs, the war on crime, the war on whatever is going to be next, be it another nation and like Afghanistan, wherever they declare a war, they lose, at least as far as I'm concerned with the system. Time after time, we end up just getting more screwed over by it. So I think, a healthy future for humanity really is the focus on decentralized methodology. And, you see it in really big brain people like David Schwartz and JavaScript creator who did, the Brave browser and Firefox and all these people. They get up to the top of it and then they start going big into privacy and that kind of stuff. And
no.
Yeah, after they've seen enough and they've become wise enough, they know that it's not going to help anybody. But so far, it's mostly served to our detriment. The loss of privacy is hurt overall, and we have to go back to wisdom that existed post tyranny to actually understand it, and that would be the rebellious spirit of the founding fathers, why they drafted the Constitution to give us inalienable rights, and what that means, as far as having healthy, happy people. So, we've lost some of our wisdom, unfortunately. We're going to figure it out, or we're not going to be happy about it.
So, back to Mad Labs, because I think what we just touched on is very important. And hopefully the 197 people that are watching this are inspired to want to learn more about Mad Labs. And I'd like to know what kind of opportunities can users unlock by mastering Mad Labs. I know that not only is it a wallet, but you can access liquidity pools and cross-chain swaps and all of that. How does Mad Labs empower users to break free from the traditional financial systems, and why should that matter to those of us that are in crypto?
I would say that the main thing would be direct control over your own funds. And it's really important to always have access. If at some point you do need to pay somebody, you don't want that to be hindered by a server outage anywhere. And a server outage, quite literally, when it comes to your bank account, should be handled for you. The closest thing that I could do for people was make it to where they could connect to a different WSS server, right? So a server outage for Mad Lab is, okay, cool, you're broken, no big deal. We connect somewhere else in the top right, and we get a connection to the ledger. If the ledger's online and anybody can transact, then you can as well with Mad Lab. And then the second main thing is Mad Lab essentially pays people to use it. And I know that seems counterintuitive, but if the industry standard for the ecosystem is a 1% fee, and a 1% is not trivial, it's a very big deal, especially if you intend on, swapping around $200,000 in RLUSD and XRP, and you're trading your Elliott waves. Okay. 200,000, 1% of that, it's still going to be $2,000, and that's one way. So you have to go both ways. It's $4,000. That is very, very enticing. And I do know somebody who is trading that amount using Mad Lab, right? So this will pay you to do it essentially. And aside from that, the feeling that you get owning your wallet, and it's an ownership at a level that even if I said, I'm done with this and I quit, I'm walking away, I can't take it from you. You own it. It's on your computer. You have the files, and that's that. And if it's in a current working state and you have those files, even if I uploaded a bad version that didn't work anymore, you would have your other version. And even if for some reason, some stuff doesn't work, you can always use the older one, because the fundamentals of the ledger itself doesn't change, right? So a lot of these things, the way that you talk to the ledger, it stays the same. It doesn't get any update to it. So for the foreseeable future, probably more than a decade, it's likely that the current Mad Lab will be working just fine.
So for the people that are not super familiar with Mad Lab Wallet, this is the long and short of it. For what Money Paradise says, Simon's looking dapper AF. Huh? He likes the facial hair too, I think. That's great. Oh, what's up, Money Paradise? Welcome to Divito. And we have 210 people. Please share this out if you would be so kind.
Money
and
Paradise
subscribe.
had the inside scoop for that. Money Paradise had some inside skinny on the dapperness.
but so what actually brought me towards Mad Lab is this concept of having your own wallet, having control over your own wallet. And with all of the wallets that we use, there is that third party involved, right? So explain to the audience in like simple Dipito terms, what makes you not a third party? What makes Mad Lab not technically a third party, like say a Zaman wallet or a Joey wallet or an Exodus wallet or any of these other wallets that are out there? What makes Mad Lab so different from those wallets?
Yeah, so fundamentally, it's arguable that other wallets weaken the ledger while Mad Lab strengthens it. And this would be on the caveat that people are setting up their own Ripple D to back Mad Lab and be their own backend. I'm not a third party, but you'll always have to have something that intermediates your communication from a UI to the ledger itself, right?
UI, back up. So
user interface.
All right, just for the Dipitoers, UI, user interface. There's a new term for those of you who don't know. Back end.
Right here. Your screen, you're tapping, that's your user interface.
And when is that what I call a window in user interface? No.
Your whole screen.
Your whole screen.
Everything.
Is the user
That's
interface.
you're the user.
Yep.
And now you're interfacing with another system that you can't see on the other side. So your code, right? Think of the Matrix. What you see is the user interface, but in reality, it's code saying, hey, this is a bookshelf. It's made out of this type of wood. We've defined this wood as blah, 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 right? Everything that took that one shelf to come together is we see it on our user interface. When we communicate, we're using our user interface to do that, to communicate, send information, data, etc., through a network or multiple systems to a network.
Yes. User interface.
Hold on a second. Well, everybody else, take a small hit of something really delicious. Have a sip of coffee. Have some water. Have your favorite bev. Let that marinate for a second. Go back to that. But yeah, UI is user interface. You are 100% correct. Go ahead. I'll shut up now.
Sorry, Zosh. I really feel like sometimes people, when they understand certain terms that seemingly are like completely over their head, once they know what you're talking about, it makes more sense. So.
Absolutely. And sometimes it's called UX, just so people know it's UI UX. That would be all front end. So there's also back end. And in that combination, you have the ability to communicate. So with normal wallets, they'll set up 1, 3, 5, 10 servers. And then everybody who's using that wallet piles onto those same, say, we'll just use example 10 servers. If those servers start failing, then they're shifted around to different servers inside of their little network that they got going. And then if they all go down, you can't then get through them to the ledger. Fundamentally, when we take a step back and we look at Mad Lab and we say, okay, so how is Mad Lab better? With the Docker tutorial and the Docker tutorials on the website, zojhome.com, guys. If you watch the first tutorial for an hour and you learn how to use MATLAB, and you watch the second one for half an hour, you'll learn how you could set up a Ripple D inside of a Docker on your Windows. And basically that's your own server that you talk to with your MATLAB. And that is helping the ledger itself be more decentralized, be more robust, and communicate, right? So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it in a nutshell.
So, so basically, if you guys go to the, what is it? XOGEhome.net. That's where you're going to find those videos where he's explaining step by step how to create the wallet. And I want to be clear in my understanding and why this is so different. So what you just explained about every user interface that we use, or every wallet that we're using, they have the servers that's housing all of this information, that's going through. If their servers go down, your activity is not going to be able to happen. Like if all of a sudden there's a whole bunch of people trying to use a specific wallet at the same time, or there's a whole bunch of people that are even just going to a website, for example. That's why, like, and I could be stepping outside of bounds, but in my mind, I think of like what they say, like the DDoS attacks, and how they have bots sometimes like go and attack a particular website to take it down and that sort of thing. Where it's like, oh, it's crashed, we can't get on. Or say like Robinhood, for example, people use that app, and we always speculated like, hey, whenever the price was really good and people wanted to sell and get out of their asset or whatever, all of a sudden, whoopsies, the app doesn't work, and now you can't get out, right? You can't get out of it, and then, oh, now it's miraculously fixed. Well, my thoughts are one, that could be nefarious. It could be doing it on purpose. Or two, it could be a infrastructure issue where they couldn't handle the amount of traffic at the time. And I've heard you talk about this on Trench Warfare, where you said, like, hey guys, the wallets and things that everybody is using, the exchanges and all of these things, can't handle a mass amount of activity all at once, or there's going to be some lagging and all of that. And so having access to something like the MATLAB wallet, where you're actually teaching people to where they could actually be their own server. Do I get that right? That they're actually going to be hosting their wallet themselves.
There's optionality for it. I mean, Ripple, even David Schwartz said that he would throw up a few free WSSs potentially. So, I mean, here's the way that it works fundamentally. MATLAB can connect via a WSS connection.
Can you just say what WSS stands for, please?
A WebSocket secure. So it's an encrypted connection, and Ripple D listens to MATLAB if MATLAB tries to talk to it, if the ports are open and it's allowed. MATLAB comes with a bunch of Ripple servers, QuickNode servers that I put up, and we can modify this. We can change the back end even ourselves. So if you download it and then you go and spend 5 minutes and set up a QuickNode at quicknode.com, their website, for free, you can then punch in your own QuickNode as your backend for your MATLAB. And if you don't want to do that, you could throw up a Docker. If you're really savvy, like some of the people in the community, they have another computer running Ubuntu, Linux, or some other Linux distro, right? And they'll just make a Ripple D inside of there, and they'll connect their MATLAB directly to that. So what this gives us is a whole array of options for servers, and where we connect is our choice rather than gate kept through different stuff. It also makes it almost impossible for people to attack any central point to bring down the infrastructure. Even if somebody nuked the Ripple 1 or Ripple 2, we would still have quick nodes. If somebody nuked that, we would have our own Dockers. If somebody nuked that, we would have BitBlock, or the other one I'm adding in on version 10 here coming out. But the point is that MadLab is as immutable as the ledger, and there is no additional third party. But to the larger question on how networks are structured and have been structured for a long time, anonymous, decentralized networks are, like I said, very rare, few and far between, and it's something to truly be cherished. If you're using Amazon, any website, any game, anything on the internet, even where we are now, they're running servers to make this possible for us. If they stop, this no longer works. That's the fundamental problem. When Amazon has, their servers go down or something, their services stop. So the larger that a company gets, you'll notice the more and more of these servers they have. So now Amazon or X.com, they have thousands and thousands of servers in data centers in many different places to make a decentralized network of their centralized network, so it doesn't crash on a regular basis. And I think that's probably the most important point, is that we're nowhere near that financial capability. I mean, even the most financially powerful companies in the XRP ledger or in a lot of crypto blockchains, and XRP being one of the largest in crypto, we have nowhere near the kind of like Amazon's infrastructure is thousands of times greater than ours in the XRP ledger. And that's what people don't quite understand about how much user abuse that their infrastructure can take as opposed to ours. So us onboarding even a small fraction of the Amazon user base would crash every wallet that we have here. It would crash all of our websites. None of it will work. The only thing that would work is if the ledger was still online, MadLab. And that has your AMM in it, and it has your ability to transact and do all of those normal things. So that's really what it comes down to. Being immutable and decentralized is the hardest path in technology, but it's the pinnacle. It's where we want to be, because that prevents other people from preventing you access. It further makes the stuff incredibly robust, very, very hard to stop or take down. But for me, I mean, I can't say which is more important for me, whether it's like almost unbreakable or if it's because it's really private and secure. The beauty of it is, like, nobody knows that you're running the MadLab wallet, and that itself is a very good leg up on securing it and keeping it private. Because if you think about it, who all gets to know when you're running your Zaman wallet? Well, I'll tell you who gets to know. Every third-party provider for Zaman through Google Analytics, buying all that shit. You got every damn website or thing that you do a wallet connect to and you QR scan. Okay?
Yep.
Before you know it, you've got hundreds, and I don't mean tens, I mean hundreds of different entities aware that you're in your Zaman wallet doing stuff. And who knows how much of a degree of information they have about you. But I'm pretty sure to say that Google and its advertisers being in that list is probably in the hundreds of thousands of people who can purchase or get access to that information since it's been made available. I think it's creepy, it's weird, and it doesn't belong in there at all. And that's one of the main things with MadLab is you want to be able to use your bank account, not have every single person sticking their little eyes in there and looking around and saying, oh, this person has $80,000. Maybe we should advertise to them a swimming pool because it's hot and we know they can afford it. Or how about when you tell a credit agency, I can't afford to pay the bill, and then they turn around and go, interesting. your account balance shows you can. And you're like, I will go through this phone and wreck your ass if you don't stop spying on me with this crap. So like we just need to defend ourselves, and robust, unbreakable, decentralized, anonymous. That's where it's at. And the people who got really wise in computers, they realized, and then they started building systems that we could build upon that furthers the journey to people being free or having freedom.
I would like to touch on this because this topic, most of us know the underlined topic. Okay, this is probably like 2.0, 3.0 of what we're actually really talking about here. Okay, or what's being discussed. So there has always been the fight to control one's ability to control their wealth. Okay, now wealth is relative. Okay, the ability to get the things you want, need, and or desire in one's life and the life of their family and their succession of their family. Okay, generational wealth. Okay, so let's go back into time to when life insurance came around. Okay, now I know all my infinite banking concept people are like, oh, here we go. So I'm just going to talk IBC. Not really, but I'm going to talk about the controlling the banking functions in our life. In that book, Becoming Your Own Banker, literally talks about what is being very much talked about here, but not in so many words, that the more control we have of the banking functions and other functions, the less hands in the cookie jar, the more protected we are, the easier it is to defend ourselves. And defend is not, doesn't even have to be, a direct confrontation. It's defending yourself means ensuring that you have, that I have, that Zoch has, that Melissa has, that all the debaters have, all the fellow cryptopians or whoever all across the world have the ability on demand to go and do the things that need to be done, whether that's food, whether that's resources to obtain food, whether that's resources to build, and I do mean build whatever, grow whatever, harvest whatever. I mean, like it's a very vast topic. So
Absolutely.
So here we're highlighting, hey, there's 100 eyes on some part of you or some part of information of you. How much? I don't know, but that's already too much, right? And it's not, hey, I'm trying to be sneaky. No, but information is always leveraged in some way, shape, or form. Again, Zoe's talking about, hey, Sam says crypto got $80,000. Let's sell him the pool and the septic system. I think he could really use it. Let's go send in that other person. I think they had a real good connection. Knock on the door, because he usually answers. He doesn't get hostile when you come on his property. But with the insurance that I was talking about, okay, this was one way to where they could a family could take their wealth, put it into a policy, and now upon their demise, family got a check. Okay, that was at the surface level. Below that, there were functions within that contract to be able to collateralize the growth equity in that contract. So we also have other structures that are as old as time as well. They're called companies, corporations, trusts, etc. Okay, so those are very established functions in the world that we live in. So take all the contracts from 1700, 1600, all the way up to 2000 that were paper. We're now taking those same functions, applying them to the digital world. So how important is it for you to be in a contract where you pretty much control the whole thing as much as possible? Interject Mad Labs wallet. Mad Labs enables you, the user, to be able to retain that ability to send and receive and grow your assets to achieve resources well within a certain scope of privacy, more privacy than that's offered on other wallets and other networks, etc. It's very hard to keep privacy within the digital space as it is in the real world. If you sign a contract, it goes through a company. Well, guess what? Anybody with keyed card access to that filing cabinet back in the day, they could see it. There it is. In the digital world, it's the same thing, only it happens a lot faster. It's hundreds of entities all at the same time that are able to do that. Is that good or bad? I'm not going to talk about that. It's just a fact of, hey, that can and does happen. Some is used for bad, some is used for good. Again, we're not talking about that, but it's more importantly of like, whoa. Nobody should be looking at this.
No.
Right? I mean, I don't want to see your stuff. It's not my business. Right? I mean, it's really not. It's not my business.
It's gotten really bad. And
I
would say the biggest transition that we faced, and we were kind of unaware of it, is when they digitized documents across the board. 100%. And from that, so what did we learn from that? How badly we got wrecked and we didn't acknowledge it, because that made all these documents flowing around the internet to people who should have never had them. You send a resume to a company back in the day and you took it in or you mailed it, and then they had it in their filing cabinet and they threw it away after, a few years or whatever, when they cleaned their cabinet, but other people didn't get it. Now you filter it through Indeed, and the array of people that get access to your information. This digital document is going to be taken to overdrive that with AI and blockchain to a degree that people couldn't even have ever imagined. There's going to be people who know your past better than you do, and they're only going to have 10 minutes with an AI to figure you out before they talk to you. So I would say that the time is upon us to start really using our brains and stop taking the easy path, because what's around the next corners that are very quick corners that we're coming up to, excuse me, they're going to be devastating for people who continue to do just what, like, do the normal, carry on and get along. It's not going to work that way anymore. And there's going to be a lot of people who find out the hard way. And, part of, what's great about Mad Lab is you have to have control over your finance all the time. Protecting, defending your family is quite literally what you quantified. It is the buying of the food. It is the making sure grandma has an oxygen tank and the rent's paid. And finance is one of the most dangerous things, that you can find yourself in trouble in, because you can't support or take care of yourself or the people that you care about. You find out real quick how cruel this world can be if you want to try to be on a corner in the sun waving a sign to get your shit back together. The point of this is that with finances being so important, people, they do need to take it seriously. They need to protect it. They need to guard it. And with the current growth in probing going on, it gets more dangerous for us. It doesn't get more dangerous for Google or Facebook. They don't care. They're really willy-nilly willing to steal your data and sell it to any marketing company that'll buy it. And you're the product, and you're the one who ends up getting hurt when the data breaches happen. And they kind of just laugh at the petty fines that they get compared to the amount of money that they get. So they're not incentivized to stop it at all. What's going to incentivize them to stop it is when people stop accepting the abuse and get a new relationship. And that's really what it comes down to. I think after people get punished enough, they'll wake up and realize that the convenience isn't worth it in some cases, and that they're just going to have to make better choices.
Team Green says, man, we're blessed to have Zoj in the XRP Ledger community with us. This guy is a diamond. I agree. We have 328 people with us this evening. Guys, welcome to Dip a Toe Show. If you've never watched our show before, We appreciate you coming in to see our chat here with William, Classy Zoj. Please subscribe to our Dip a Toe show. We're doing our best. We're almost there to get to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. It'd be really awesome. Rosemary says the party is on the Dip a Toe channel chat, and that is
100%.
True.
100%.
We've got, somebody mentioned we have the who's of crypto in here, in the XRP Ledger community in particular. We have a lot of awesome people in here tonight.
This is a really good topic overall. I mean, it's a continued topic, Zoj, that you brought up. Finance. It's really the topic of money, currency, transactions. I mean, there's so many different names that we could, or words that we could associate with what's going on. But protecting and growing and knowing the things that we utilize to transact on this earth, it is very, very, very important. Very, very important. And us knowing the mechanics, or just basic, I'm going to say basic definitions of something like UI, aka user interface. Like, it's very important. What do you mean user interface? What are you talking about? What is that? It's we say it, we might hear it all the time, but it's like, well, no. What is it really? So when we hear, it's like, oh, they found a way to sneak in on the front end, your user interface. Front end is the thing that we see. Well, how do they do that? My point is knowing about the tools that we're using, and everything is a tool. Everything, all of it. This video is a tool. The platforms that we're on are a tool. By the way, the platforms that we're on, guess what? They have third parties. StreamYard, I don't know who they sell to. I don't know what servers they use. I don't know where they go. But someone at the tip top does. And I'm not saying StreamYard, you guys are bad. I'm just using an example. Much love. Okay. But if you want to shut me down, you can shut this channel down, not the And so when you see individuals like Zoj here and others that have created something for the individual, pay attention to that, because it's like the first time someone made a hammer and then somebody else added to that hammer, and so on and so forth. And now a few people have a hammer. They can put it to good use multiple different ways. But if people weren't paying attention to the hammer, we wouldn't use hammers in the way we are using them today. That's a really poor example of what Zoj has created and continues to create, because it's a constant refinement process. Environments change. We must change and adapt with them, one way or the other. But we must know. And one of our biggest gaps, one of the things that I always hear throughout anywhere, online, not online, finance, the topic of finance, money, percentages, this way, that way, slippage. It's a whole rabbit hole, but we must know it and how we operate within that. And what Mad Labs has over there to offer is a great thing to participate in, to teach you these things. This is why I love crypto, because crypto has taught me more about the flow of money and transactions and information, all in the same product, the same thing, the same industry. I've learned more within the digital asset space than I have ever learned in any other industry in my entire life, in regards to
if
finance.
I can
Add to that, please do. Sorry,
So-
I know we're kind of going off the rails here.
I mean, this is really important to not only your show, but Mad Lab, to the Ledger, to builders and creators, to everybody making anything. It's almost all pushed by marketing and money, which is why so many do the sellout route. But the really big accounts, the followers, the mentions, who they'll talk about, what they'll talk about is like I said, another thing mostly controlled by finances. You don't see any real big accounts daring to mention Mad Lab, even though I've talked to some of them directly in trench warfare about it. They still are hesitant to dare mention it. And the truth of it is, if you're listening to this show, I recommend that anybody, giving you actual content, they're not getting paid for this. I'm not getting paid for this. They don't get paid for Mad Lab. I don't get paid for Mad Lab. The people on your screen right now are doing this hoping for better results for people overall. And of course, if they build a big enough following, then they'll have made it on their own. They didn't have to be forced to tell you pleasant lies or bullshit to get ahead. They did it the right way, which is always the hardest way. So if you could, give them that subscribe, because like I said, there's a tremendous amount of people who know about Mad Lab because I've been in the space for so long and I've talked to them directly, but they also, they're not going to say anything about it because they maybe, we'll just say they just maybe receive some kind of marketing incentives to not. So on that note, I mean, anybody who's giving you a real bit of information is probably worth your attention, because we wonder why everything is marketed out and we just get nothing but flyers and spam and everything seems fake and hollow. It's because we keep giving these marketers, these Google Analytics, the trackers on us, and then all of the attention. When it's blown up too much, too fast, and it seems odd, guess what? It is odd. And you need to look at your fellow human, the regular people that you know, and say, what are you working on? What are you doing? What's cool to you? Because that's more than likely where you're going to find regular people and not the venture capitalist or marketing and that kind of stuff. So all I'm asking is a sub for them. And yeah.
I appreciate that very much. And yes, we are definitely organically grown here. We're not
just like the facial hair stone, organically grown, baby.
You have always stuck out to me, Zoj, from the time that I first heard you speak in one of the spaces. I don't remember where it was, but just learning about you and thinking like this is somebody that that wants the same things that I want, and that is to empower you with knowledge. And Simon and I have always said, crypto's not for sissies. You have to do your own research in these things, but at the end of the day, it's worth it if you understand how to have your own wallet, and maybe take the step further where you're doing your own node and that sort of thing. It's not going to happen overnight. Like you're not going to miraculously become a genius and know all this coding stuff and all of that, but you can watch that hour-long video that Zoj put out to show you how to create your Mad Lab wallet. And we're gonna do a little demo. We got about 45 minutes left in this version. I don't know if Zoj is going to be able to join us in the 10:10 after dark space, but we'll definitely be carrying on this conversation. So the 360 of you that are listening, we'd love for you to join us over there on X at 10:10, and we'll talk more about this. But
for the space after, I probably won't make it. I will try to come in, and I usually don't miss stuff, and I knew that it was going to happen. I wasn't going to do anything blockchain today. So Zoj was the first token, as far as I know, to memorialize passing friends and animals via the blockchain. And 1 year ago today, I memorialized my best Chihuahua friend, Bits, with a trillion Zoge burn. And so on this day, 1 year later, I was going to go and like bring a little toy to where I buried her, that kind of stuff. So I won't make that. And I wasn't going to do anything today. I was just going to, hang out and kind of do that and just take an easy day. But I ended up going on 2 roofs for this 90-year-old lady because she had to have it cleaned. And then I ended up coming on here, of course, because, I can't not do that. But yeah, that's kind of where it is. But if you scroll down a little bit there, you should be able to see a picture of some of the pets that people have put up. So I think that was like one of her next to last meals. But if you scroll down more, you'll see other people who've done it. And then if you click on it, so if you do click on it, it'll come up with the burn transaction and the date that occurred. And then the way that it worked was just with memos. But I told people that it would matter, and I kind of lead by example. And a trillion Zoge is still worth a lot of money. I mean, that's worth, so it means something aside from that. It's just good for everyone else. So, and anybody could do this with any token. So it's not a bad idea to add a little utility to any asset. Remember it through things that you do for other people that are good. Because ultimately, when I burn that 1 trillion, it's 1 trillion that I bought that I don't have access to. And that's out of the circulating supply. So that's a goodwill put on all people. It's on the XRPL. It's also it's multi-chain, actually. And, we have the capability technology-wise to cross-chain at this point with DKIT and THORSwap. And unfortunately, it really comes down to the liquidity pools on other chains. And I asked the Zoges who have the tokens to set up pools, and it's one of those things where I think everybody is kind of, in general, having a hard time making ends meet, surviving in this economy, and you can't really support everything. So it's a grand goal, a grand vision, deployed correctly, seen to fruition technologically, built correctly with integrity and honesty, but still can't manage to get the funding that it would need to complete it entirely. Though the DKIT side of it's done, the code technically exists to go Zoge XRPL to Zoge BNB or Ethereum. Those things, that code works, and it exists from through MadLab wallet right into those other chains, into a wallet you would have there with the Zoge asset, Zoge for Zoge. It's just, it really comes down to liquidity. So yeah.
Since the last time, so many of the people that are watching probably realize that you've been on Dipito before, and I know you've had a lot of updates and that done with the MadLab wallet, and incorporated the THORChain with MadLab, and I wondered if you could touch on the importance and significance of that. What does that mean for people? At the end of the day, that you've incorporated THORChain as well. Welcome, MetaMan and Crypto Bacon Bits and Joe Schmo, guys.
Yo, Schmo, welcome. It is on the XRP, brother. It is on the XRPL.
Sylvie Scape says, tonight, genius, panda energy, and a touch of madness. Always intense, sometimes raw, but always a pleasure to hear for his sensitivity and authenticity. Couldn't have said it better myself, Sylvie. Welcome to the Dipito Show. Thank you for coming. Yeah. Well, what is the significance of incorporating THORChain with MadLab?
Sorry, I was muted.
worries.
Hey, thanks a lot for that. I don't want to be stealing Flox's girlfriend though, so I gotta be careful.
I will say this: I saw on X, Floxan said like our man Soj is in the house. So shout out to Floxan. Thank you for watching Dip Toe Show. We appreciate you.
Oh my God, he's gonna razz me later for sure. So the significance of THORChain or cross-chain swaps is there's millions of dollars right now going through those rails currently as we speak. It's huge, and people want to play in assets that are going up, and they want to get out of assets that are going down. It's not rocket science when you see assets that invert regularly. You want to move and then go up and then move back and go up, right? The market is expanding overall. We've seen that since inception. We keep going up into bigger trillions for the entire market value of crypto. So ultimately, while you're going up, you might decide, well, even though you don't want to sell your XRP right now, and that that's your main bag, some people feel like playing the market. They might want to catch the next wave or XRP's retrace while they're sitting on Bitcoin and then come back. That's where these rails come into play. And MadLab is fully integrated to do that. It is the most cost effective. In fact, the THORChain swap is so cost effective that due to its not being used, Let's Exchange and Simple Swap aren't going to be in the next version of MadLab, which I haven't mentioned to people.
Wow.
But it's the point of it is that people need to do everything as cost effectively as possible. So if you're offering something that costs, on average 10 times more, so like Simple Swap or Let's Exchange will cost 10 times more than a Thor swap.
Wow.
Well, yeah, and it's at the point where if people check it and they just go, okay, I'm gonna
check it out.
Yeah, you just go, yeah, I'm not gonna do that, and then you use the other one. So it's not really being used. It takes up space, and space is always important. So things that don't get used a lot, I try to just be like, get out of here. But aside from that, the divs for Let's Exchange and Simple Swap, they load a lot of extra stuff. And I'm starting to eye that with real scrutiny. So deck screeners. Sorry, I'm just popping my fingers if you could hear that.
No, good.
Okay, deck screeners.
It's an organic show, bro. We got to put, here. There you go. I did something with you. You're good.
Very good. Third-party scripts that load Google stuff I don't like, and I added in Lucky Hash. That'll come in the next version with the club when I finally get that done. The Lucky Hash is actually pretty fun, but it has Google trackers in it and stuff like that. So I made it work with MadLab without having any of those Google trackers in there, and it all works completely inside of MadLab, which fundamentally, if you're using Lucky Hash via MadLab when it comes out, you're not getting tracked by anything anywhere. It's completely 100% good security. If you're using it through Zaman's stalking you. You're using it through Wallet Connect, that's stalking you. You're connecting to Lucky Hash's website, that's fucking stalking you. Sorry about the F-bombs, guys. Look, I get charged up because it's like, how many people need to stick their hand in your pants and try to, get something, get some information. Yeah, it's too much, and at some point, I start getting heated about it because it's wrong. You wouldn't do it to your family member. You shouldn't do it to someone else.
If you stood on someone's front lawn, okay, for starters, and then you got binoculars and you sat here looking at all their windows, dude, gunshots would ring out, cops would be called, the next door app, the neighborhood gossip channels, they would all light up like a Christmas tree. Right? It's the same thing. Only it's like, oh, hey guys, but the only difference here is like they have terms of service. Hey, I'm your neighbor. So you agree, since you live in this neighborhood, that I can step on your lawn, look through your windows with my binoculars, with my shirt off and my lemonade. You know what I mean? Like, like get out of here. No.
Absolutely.
So where's the line in the sand? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and there's no line. I'm going to tell you right now, there isn't a line until we draw it. Oh, yeah, no, they want full X-ray Superman vision of your naked body and all data about you. And
I mean, we can solve that right now, but we're a family show, and we are going to be
I'm just saying that there's no upper limit on this, all the way to the smart watches, and then sending you alerts saying, well, we're going to try to start advertising blood pressure medicine to you because your smartwatch says your blood pressure goes up once in a while. And you know what I mean? It's just, there's no end to it.
It's too much. Gotcha. I'm still stuck in, and I just saw Optimistic posted, what is Lucky Hash? What is Lucky Hash? I don't know what Lucky Hash is, and I don't know what CLOB is.
Okay, CLOB is Central Limit Order Book. That's essentially the DEX in terms of Ripple. So it's not vernacular that I made up. It's not mythical. This is what Ripple calls it in their video. It's the Central Limit Order Book. It used to be well known as the DEX. Well, the DEX sits here, and then the CLOB and the AMM sit here, and you talk to this, and then it routes you based on what it is you're trying to do, based on the ledger commands. So the CLOB is being added into MadLab, and to Karma's question on it is, yes, the CLOB is in the ledger, and MadLab is a wallet. But for MadLab to use things, much like Zaman or any other wallet, Zaman uses Wallet Connect and then connects to a third-party application, right? And Zaman fundamentally, function-wise, is like, oh, I can send transactions. Yay, big whoop. Big whoop. MadLab does that in one tab in MadLab. There's like 10 or 15 tabs in MadLab of different functions that you can do on the ledger. So ultimately, to add in and integrate more functions and features, there's different sections in MadLab. So there's a hierarchy of sections when you go to MadLab, and based on what you want to do is what section you maximize and then work with, be it sending a regular transaction or doing an airdrop or getting into the AMM, or in the future getting into the CLOB, otherwise known as the DEX of old.
The CLOB.
And what is a Lucky DEX or Lucky Hash? I mean,
oh yeah, my Alzheimer's is kicking in. I didn't answer the other question. So
that's what happens when you get on roofs during the day, bro.
I know, you get cooked. You get cooked so bad. And
I
know exactly about
could use some Lucky Hash right now.
Oh, I'm sure Mrs. Zam would love some Lucky Hash, but we're not talking about strains tonight, brother.
So, I mean, it's a gambling website, essentially. It allows you to send a transaction for 1 XRP and then an addendum memo of a random string. It's like, I think 5 or 6 characters. And from that, you're entered in to this gambling round. And after, I think it's about 12 hours, if you win, and the jackpot last I checked was like 4,800 XRP. But if you win, you get the jackpot, right? So and in MadLab, it's just going to be 1 click. So you can click enter, and you did 3 entries for the next round, or you can batch them and queue them up. You can do all the crazy things that MadLab can do. But what's cool about it is you don't have to check back on it, nothing. If you win, it'll just automatically pay you back. And of course, I don't run this. Nothing I have is like that. There's no fees.
Like, Melissa's already working out the budget. Okay, so I'll just take $5. I'll buy 1.5 XRP. That's the 1 XRP plus my transaction. She's already, I can see the lucky sevens going on in your eyes right there, dude.
Kind of fun,
though. I'll be honest, it is actually pretty fun, and testing it, I may have tested it a couple extra times. And I'll be honest, guys, I get a donation once in a while, and I usually cook it testing stuff. Like I think I ended up blowing up like 25 billion in bad CLOB orders of Zoj testing the AMM. And it's a few $100, you know, you just kind of get slapped around. And that's what happens to the donations for MadLab is Well, developing ain't easy.
Yeah.
That's just the truth of it. And
It's
you
hard
run
out here for a pimp.
definitely difficult. So, I mean, Lucky Hash though is just straight up degenning, gambling, but on easy mode.
Yeah.
Because with Mad Lab, it's just one click. You just click a button and boom, you're in.
So once you're in Mad Lab, you can find the
There
Lucky
we
Hash,
go. See,
the Lucky Hash tab, and
if you didn't have a reason, there's one right there. You're gonna forget your Texas Hold'em app that you have on your phone where you ain't doing real stuff. This is real
Well, do
XRP
you
on
mind
the
if
network,
you
bro.
can for a moment pull up Lucky Hash website?
Lucky Hash. You gonna pull it up,
Yeah.
Simon, or you want me to?
I'm going to attempt. Let me. Just
I have a little bug that's flying around. It's driving me crazy. I keep trying to get it. It's
All
like
stand by. Share
Stand by.
screen. We're gonna do
Let's
the
go.
entire. We're gonna make sure we got no sound here. No sound. Add to stage. Voila. This is what we're talking about. Yeah.
oh,
Your ledger, your luck.
So then just let's see
Oh,
here.
let me hide this. Ding.
Yeah.
Except
See this
except
cookie?
all tracking that we've been talking about. Of course.
I would not click accept, but okay, you're good.
I'm just here. Yeah, dude. You know this machine
click
here.
lottery.
There's no lottery. Okay, play now.
Okay, so there we can see that currently it's almost 5,000 XRP. So if you just click like draw history and some of these other things, you can search an address and see who's entered for this round and the drawing and who are winners and things like that. And yeah, this is what Mad Lab will tap into, and they have their own back end and all that running it, and they'll send you their winnings based on all their rules. And to really deep dive it, you can dig into their website to figure it out. But I wanted to integrate it because it's fun. It's just something different, and everybody likes a little shot in the dark, like a little glimmer of hope, a little something, right? We normally we'll go and we'll buy a stupid lotto ticket at a store, and it's sad to think, you're more likely to die to a shark on land than win that lottery ticket, and you're like, no shark is just going to fly from the sky and eat me. So it's ridiculous odds playing the lottery. With something like this, at least you have some kind of a chance. And like I said, guys, flat facts. I get absolutely zero zip, not a nothing from this shit. So whenever I say it, I'm just speaking from my opinion. There's no marketing incentive. In fact, Lucky Hash probably doesn't even like me because I bypass their cookies, right? Because I'm sneaky. And I did that for Mad Lab users. But the point is that no, they're not paying me, and I think that it's probably nicer and better than the win rates of government gambling and that kind of stuff. So it's there for people to mess around with in Mad Lab on the new version when it comes out.
That's fun.
I might be up late tonight.
Stone would like to know if you could play Connie and XRP Man video for X Meme before the end of the evening. Stone became a member. Oh, I didn't even see that. Somebody have to send it to us so we could play it. We could probably do that.
Hold on, I just want to.
So what I'm wondering is we have we have like 25 minutes left, and I did want to try to do somewhat of a little mini demo, just to kind of see.
Yeah.
Just to kind of see. I mean, here's the deal, guys.
Here's the deal.
THORChain has done a video from start to finish how to create a Mad Lab wallet, and then there's a second video where you teach them how is it on their own, like be their own server, right? Is that the second video?
Yeah, the second video, which is half an hour, is how to set up a Docker. But there's also a README in there to set up a quick node, and then you don't even have to run it at all. But if you're like really wanting to geek out with security and be like, no, nobody, I'm going to hover over the whole planet and nobody's going to look at me, touch me, none of the things,
Right.
between VPNs and, you know, virtual machines or Raspberry Pis and USB sticks and MATLAB, and then your own WSS backends and stuff like that. This is the most malleable piece of clay ever released, period, in probably blockchain history. And I know that's a big claim, but tell me a wallet that gave you all of the code and the ability to make your own backend that nobody could ever take from you and did it all for free. There isn't one. So it's a bold claim, but it is backed up by just the facts of what it is.
And you know, we're going to have a show next. Well, was it the 27th? I think we're going to talk about security, and we're going to have a bunch of you guys on to talk about it. And one of the things that I think it's hard for people to wrap their minds around is why it's better to have an open source. Like you just said, you created it, it's out there. People can look at all your code, everything, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why is that better?
Code.
Yeah, it becomes their code, right?
It becomes their code, so that, I mean, that'd be 1 point straight away. It's like as soon as you download it, nobody can take it from you, and you own it, and you can modify it. So that right there is massive, because a lot of people, they want to have ownership of things, and nobody will ever give them everything. Everything now is like, you even download your video games and you get a serial key, and you just want to play your game and you think you own it, and they're like, no. Mm-hmm. We can take the right from you at any time to use this. Yep. And that's literally what it's like using anybody else's wallet. Well, I can't take the right from you, nor would I ever even try. And that's a beautiful thing. But why it's better to have exposed sources, you know, it's the naked and afraid thing, and you run out there and it's difficult and it's scary, but at the same time you get maximum battle testing. Like you just become invincible, because at that point, I mean, it's why people say, oh yeah, you're doing stage speaking and you picture yourself or the whole crowd naked or something. It's because it's like maximum battle testing. Everything that can mess around or try to get at it can see the code and try to mess around, right? So with that, the coolness of it is, it's out there.
Well, the other thing is, and this, it took me a while to wrap my mind around it, but because people that don't really understand coding and all of that sort of thing, we tend to think that, well, gosh, if you show them all of that, then it just makes it easier for somebody to put something in it that's bad, right? Oh, thank you, Janet. Became a YouTube member. We appreciate you guys so much.
Love you, sister.
Thank you. Because it's public, if there was anything nefarious in your code, the people that know how to read code would be calling you out, right? They'd be calling you out on it. Or if there was like significant flaws or whatever, there would be that public conversation. So like you said, you are out there, like exposed to the world or to anybody that looks at what you've built. And
I would say on that, yeah. And not only is it exposed and verifiable and attackable, and I piss people off that want to attack me, and I'm like, okay, go ahead, harden my code for me. Because like I said, that naked and afraid approach, yeah, you can look at it and you can critique it and you could attempt to find flaws. That ends up making a stronger product. So detractors are just de-incentivized for doing that, because typically that's a paid service, right? I mean, I scour it with, a company who makes a wallet will have to pay, whereas I'm going to get that same service from attackers for free.
Yeah.
So
Well,
we
you
think about,
you
and
are
I have
a
to
little
because
angry red panda. I've noticed that you're a little saucy. So you're provoking folks to
I
get
am.
pissed, right?
I'm
And
talking
now
shit.
He's a
this
provocateur. A
it makes
provocateur.
sense to me now because you're provoking them to try to screw with you and what you've created, and having them do the work. That's genius.
Well, it ties into the whole thing. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm wearing a tank top, and I talk shit on the suits, and I have the name Classy Zoj, which
Yeah.
is a red panda who's almost always wearing a suit, and is like supposed to be this classy creature. I'm almost the exact opposite in a lot of ways. Just the only thing is that I talk a lot of shit, but I'm really, really a nice guy to the
Yes, you
people
are.
who are nice. Like I authentically give a shit, which is
Yes.
probably something you don't find very often, is most people aren't willing to risk themselves for others, especially others that they don't know. But I think without that kind of altruism in our society, we don't have a good society, and it has to start somewhere. So as they say, you do something good for somebody, they pay it forward, they pass it on, and then they want to do good things. We overall heal, in if you look at it from ways like optimistic, we make the world better by being better along those lines. And if people come at me, I'm ready and I fight all the time, but I prefer to actually be accepted for just the way that I am. But I'm going to defend the way that I am, right? And I think everybody should, especially if you've got good reason for being the way that you are. I have a good reason for being the way that I am. A lot of people have been shitheads to me, so this is my result. Like, that's the way it works out.
Man, well, I love you personally. I love what you stand for. I love your heart. Like I said before, you're very kind to me, and it helped me, and took your time to have a conversation, several conversations with me, and I really appreciate it. And when it shows like this, people like you, people like Stone, Amanda, Optimistic Prime, Kita, all of these people, Floxon and your Trench Warfare, and Mike Laugh, and Steak and Bake, and Mr. Zam, all of these wonderful people that are out there trying to share this information. At some point, one of us is going to click with somebody else and teach it. It's a chain reaction, right? And if we don't spend this time now doing this, the opportunity could be maybe lost forever. And so that is one thing I wanted to talk to you before we signed off is, how urgent is this for people to learn this Mad Labs? I've been in crypto since 2019. I've known about Mad Labs for a little bit. I've dipped my toe in it in a tad bit, but I need to fully learn and operate this, and I'd like to take it to the next level. And I know that there's 453 people watching tonight, and I'd be willing to bet most of them haven't touched Mad Lab Wallet yet. What is the urgency in them learning the Mad Lab Wallet? How close are we before this window closes, or does it close ever?
Yeah, and that's where I want to be very careful, because if people are comfortable and they're happy with their Zaman or their Joey wallet, by all means. I'm just telling people that when Zaman crashes 3 times in a week, and we haven't come even close to onboarding the kinds of numbers that people want to see for price to go up, or what we could expect to see, when we know that Trump couldn't have launched his meme on the XRPL, it would have crashed First Ledger and our infrastructure. When we know that we're not robust enough to handle some actual real onboarding, in any of our infrastructure, you start to think maybe it would be a good idea to have not only a wallet, but an AMM and all of the features of MadLab under my control that's immutable. And unless the actual ledger itself crashes, everything around us can burn down and be broken because of the massive onboarding, and we're still going to be able to do stuff. As far as alarmism goes, I don't want to be an alarmist. And if you guys are happy with your wallets, by all means, stay with your wallets, because like I said, I don't have fees in MadLab like Zaman. My goal was always to make a multi-million user product with this. And then just by donations, when people won and had a good run in crypto on their trades and were saving fees, once in a while people donate to me. And if you have a user base that big, even if one person donated one time a year for each person, there's only 365 days in a year, a couple million people. There's more money on just the generosity of people than I could probably ever need to spend to get a log cabin. So at the end of the day, I think beautiful. Yeah, for sure.
Sorry, yeah. Me and the wife, we be loving that log cabin,
right?
Man.
But no alarmism. And to be honest, guys, it's an hour video. You come home from work, you kick off your shoes, whatever your day may entail, and you watch an hour video, and you'll know how to use it. You'll be comfortable with it. But I still don't recommend just like full porting your portfolio out of a standard wallet into it. What I think, and what I did in testing it was, I started and I sent it 20, and then before I knew it, I had 50 in there, and then before I knew it, I had 3 different MadLab wallets running in different browser tabs, and then before I knew it, I had my whole portfolio in there. Then real life friends of mine had their whole portfolios in there, and family members of mine put theirs in there, and now all the people that I know are using MadLab personally, because now that they've figured it out and they realize what it is that they actually have, they're just like, holy shit, this is really nice, because I don't have to go. And it isn't just your wallets that can go down. I mean, we've all seen AMM sites go down. We've seen different infrastructure go down. We've seen cluster node read sites. We've seen XRP scan. There's stuff going down all the time. Things break when they get stressed. And if you have a small ecosystem and stuff is going down, that's the only thing that I would be a bit alarmist on. When we can break stuff and we're like baby compared to macro crypto, as far as what's inside of just our tokenized assets, issued IOUs on chain, it's actually really small, and volume is incredibly low, and liquidity, TPL, is very low. So to even think that we have infrastructure failures at these lows of community is probably the one point of alarmism that I have. And I say, hey, I threw this at David, and David was like, yes, this is actually cool, and cool enough to get a follow. And for me, that was shocking. And it did. I'm going to be honest. It made me happy because he gets it, and it's not. Yeah. Right. And a lot of people in that discussion, they didn't quite like. And I feel sorry for the tech geeks, and myself included to a small degree. But I'll probably clap people if they don't start. If I ever got big like him, and here's why I feel sorry for him, because he wants to go on the show and just bullshit and tell mama jokes. He wants to live and be a human. Yeah. And anytime he's encountered by anybody, they're like, did you get my message? Did you get my this? What do you think about this proposal? And he can't, in a lot of times, just be a human because of how important his work has been. But, ultimately, I'm grateful that he acknowledged the value of it, both for front end and back end. The framework and the idea comes from years of knowledge, and then also leaning on the legends, the people who maybe went unknown and unnoticed, like the one who made the world exchange that we looked at, and we know like that the age of that, and it's just wild. Now that thing, it was just a DEX or a CLOB site. It doesn't have any AMM functionality, and I never could get it to work for a single transaction. In testing it and messing with it. and all of the things. But yeah, that's pretty much.
But it was an idea that you saw, and you poked a little deeper, and you built something else, right? I was listening to that conversation, and I was so happy and proud when I saw both you and Karma having your hands up, and I was like, first of all, I was impressed that they actually let you up on stage, and your hand was up, and when they finally let you talk, and you were having your conversation, I thought to myself, this is so cool. You could tell that he does have respect. And he sounded happy and encouraged that you were so excited, and that you're working on these things, and probably you guys would probably be friends, you know what I mean, like of what you're passionate about, and what he seemingly is passionate about. And like you said, and we're talking about David Schwartz, for those that don't realize. David Schwartz was on a Spaces call, like an Ask Me Anything type of thing. And, I know what you mean, Zoj, because they're, and when those calls kind of come up, the same kind of people kind of get like cornered in. They're asking the questions, and they kind of control the environment a bit. And so, like I said, I was very excited when I saw that you and Karma were both up on stage, and got to ask your questions or have your conversation. And the fact that he followed you back afterwards, pretty awesome. So
yeah, and I got to give a shout out to somebody, because she was in here earlier, and if it wasn't for Kristen Dack, I would not have gotten to speak in probably the eighth space that I went into with David Schwartz, where I raised my hand and tried to get up to stage just to shoot the shit with him. Because sometimes you're like looking into things and you're learning about things that nobody can answer. And it's an opportunity, a true opportunity to get to speak to a foundation level ledger legend, so to say, and he truly is. So no, it's great. But without her letting me up and then calling on me, it would have been just like any other space where they keep me down at the bottom and don't let me have a shot. So she's the one who allowed that to happen. She got me the follow essentially to David Schwartz. I mean, obviously my work is a factor, but because people ask him a bunch of dumb questions, and he's like, okay, you're cool, and I'll follow you because you ask me to, kind of stuff. But the truth is that he's incredibly, I would say, incredibly humble and generous to people to put up with some of the bullshit. And the guy seems like he's pretty down to earth, and he just wants to kind of have a good time and shoot the shit, because he's already done his work for the years,
Well, shout out to Kristen. She's on Dip a Toe. She's going to be on the After Dark space. For those of you who don't know, come on over and check us out in the After Dark space. It's going to happen here at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Dip a Toe channel at Dip a Toe Show on X. So be sure that you are following us, and we'll start that space up. I want to welcome and say thank you to Red Star 7311, who says never saw this channel before, and they subbed, and they're a XRP fan. So thank you so much. We really, really appreciate it. There's 500 people in here now, and why does it always happen at the end of the show? We start getting them to flood in, guys. You're gonna have to watch this replay back, because this has been a fantastic conversation.
Because it's West Coast.
Man, I'm telling you,
it's barely 7 o'clock. People just got home on the West Coast, man.
They're like,
you know what I'm saying? Like barely. Yeah. And Megan, I would say the majority are coming to the Dip a Toe show on X, and second place is World Be Free on X. So I mean, that's where the peeps at. That's where the peeps at on X. 100%.
We got a few. I just want to shout out these people real quick, because they did. So gosh, we have, oh my goodness. We've got Trisso, have a go. We love you. Says thanks to us for the Dip and Toe show. Wants encourages everybody to share, and he appreciates all the guests that we have on, and we love you, Trisso. One of these days, I'm gonna give you a big fat hug. Darren Baxter, thank you. Shout out to everyone using Mad Labs. Thank you for coming to the Dip and Toe show, Darren. We appreciate you. Who else we've got? Crypto Bacon Bits, one of my favorite. I love his artwork. Super great person. Really appreciate you coming to the Dip and Toe show, Crypto Bacon Bits. And
that's my background right now, by the way.
I love him.
Oh, really?
I love so awesome. Janet Flower Bloom, we appreciate you coming. We love you, my friend. And then of course we got our new friend Red Star. Everybody came tonight because of you, Zoj. You are a treasure in this community. We recognize you. We see you, and it's awesome. I hope people do donate. Give a tip. I want to say donate. If they give you a little tip, if somebody wanted to do that, how could they tip you? If, say, like you said, you're working around and it actually costs you to practice these things out, how would they go about tipping you? Is there an easy way for them to find your address to tip you, or how does that work?
Yeah, in Mad Lab there's a donate button, and you can donate to either me in the donate section, or you could donate to the community give fund. So Niall, Liam, there's people in the community, they've got surgeries, they've got different stuff going, and so for that, I made a crypto donation give thing for myself, so that hopefully one day all the hours I put in will be of benefit to me, while helping other people and keeping it at their option. But for the community give fund, that is going to be used by me at my discretion, for people who are in the XRPL community, out there, who have different needs that pop up. Some of them, like, it could be life-saving importance kind of stuff. So that's why I put it there. I told them I would in trench warfare. So, yeah.
Appreciate that. Any final words? So we have 500 people. If people want to find you, how do they find you? You're mostly on X, right?
Yeah, I avoid all the other. So many people ask me to use other platforms, but there's like 10 of them, and it's like, guys, just find me here so that I don't miss messages. And then I go through and I literally read all of my messages every single few hours throughout the entire waking day, and the first thing whenever I get up, and nothing gets past my X profile as far as when people send it to me. And sometimes I don't reply and I get busy and I'm only human, but that's the way to reach me. And then aside from that, I just, like I said, I try to avoid other platforms. And
I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all. I have I'm gonna try to do this if it's gonna work. Instead of playing our outro music, I'm going to play the X meme. I don't know if you're familiar, Zoj, with and hopefully this works, you guys. I hope the sound works when I go to do this to end the stream. But Connie Stone's cousin, or is I think she's her cousin, his cousin, wrote a song for X meme. And it's fantastic. Awesome. XRP Man created a video for it, and it is absolute fire. So I would like to play that as the exit video instead of our traditional outgoing stream. XRP Man, But before we say our goodbyes, Zosh, do you have any final words for our Dipito audience?
Yeah, thank you guys, honestly, for showing up. I appreciate you. And, the Ledger's been a tough place for a long time. And the people who've been here for years putting in their effort really shine through and stay in the ecosystem. And I guess that's why we have so much distilled quality over the years. It's because the ones that can't make it, they go elsewhere, and only the toughest bastards. So this is why the XRPL is filled with so many interesting, deep, rich characters, and rich in content of character, not necessarily monetarily. Maybe one day,
it's coming.
Yeah,
checks in the mail. Checks in the mail.
Checks in the mail.
But thanks to everybody for showing up and giving support to the community, the builders, the creators. And honestly, there's always going to be people saying meme coins are useless and pointless, but meme coins sucking, and people who are really determined can absolutely on nothing make something that turns the heads of even the biggest multi-million-dollar companies and questions the very narrative that we've been pushed through, gateways and things like that, centralized infrastructure, the very, very fundamental framework of how we use the ledger itself is in question when people come up with, ideas out of near duress, and that comes from sucking, like I said, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially if innovation is the mother of necessity, right?
Well said. Guys, we're going to put the links to everything in the show description. I think actually I had already put it in my post and in the description of the video because I wanted you to do the homework before coming on. If we didn't get to your questions, apologize. We'll further this discussion on the Dipito after dark here at 10:10. Simon, any final words?
Oh, you all know what to do. Think, grow, and keep dipping that toe.
Oh,
Mad Labs, yo.
With Mad Labs, yo. Let's see if I can get this to work. I hope to goodness. We're gonna see.
I
Actually,
have faith in you.
I'm
gonna go to BoobTube myself, and I'm gonna switch this up.
Okay, and see if I can make it the sound come. And if I can't, I apologize. So here we go, guys.
Yeah, we're good.
Can you hear it?
Yeah. No, I thought we could. Yep, we're good.
It's the color bright green, it lights up the screen. Shapeshifter in motion, never routine. A token of laughter, a meme machine. From pixels to dreams, it reigns supreme. X and me, if you want to be seen. A kaleidoscope of fun in between. Evolving, shifting, it's never serene. X and me, the spark, the vivid green. Ooh, community driven, no rules, no chains. Collaboration flowing through our veins. Drops of music and promotions rain. A symphony born from the meme terrain. Not traditional, not the same. A project with no fixed frame. X to me, if you want to be seen. A kaleidoscope of fun Evolving, shifting, it's never serene. X and me, the spark, the vivid green. From the threats to the tunes we play, shape-shifting vibes pave the way. Not just a token, it's here to stay. X me is the anthem we replay. X me, if you want to be seen, if you want to be kaleidoscope of fun in between. Evolving, shifting, it's never serene. X me, X me, the spark, the vivid green.
Powering the XRPL. And we are just getting started.
Oh, have a good rest of the day, guys.